The catalog site resource is created by pub, and the catalog resource is responsible in connecting the catalog APIs to the database. When you delete a catalog resource, some of the underlying objects are deleted as well. So be careful when deleting the resource, and make sure that you back up the database before doing so. To add a catalog resource to a site, you use pub, and we'll go over this in our demo. You can share the catalog resource. Catalog resource sharing is only supported in the enterprise queue. You can also back up resources by exporting as content and importing the file back for restoring the catalog resource. So let's open up our catalog manager, and we're also going to be working with the commerce server manager. Okay, so we're going to work with the C# site production. So we have our product catalog here. We've connected our commerce server, and this is connected to the C# catalog website. So let's actually create a new C# site production, and actually let's go to our applications, and our catalog website is actually called catalog site production. Okay. Before we do that, okay, let's connect to our site. So as you can see, we connected to our C# site, and there's nothing there. Let's create a very small test by creating a catalog here, and call this test. Okay, so we now have a catalog called test in there. If we open up our SQL Server, we should see the tables for our test catalog. And here's our database. And here's our test catalogs. So let's go to our site resource, and we're going to go ahead and delete this site resource. Okay, our resource is deleted. Let's go back to our database. Let's do a quick refresh. So notice that our test catalog is now gone, and you can't see it. So some of the tables and objects do get deleted. Let's go ahead now show you how you can add a resource. So open up your site, go to the site resources, right click, and then add resource. From here, choose the C# pub. And then only select the product catalog. Select next. Here we're gonna modify the database to point to our already existing product catalog, which it already is. Test the connection, succeeded. Continue next. It says that it's going to be overwritten. That's fine. Okay. So the site resource is created, and the underlying database structures are also created for us. There is one thing to note here. There is a small bug when you're adding a resource and trying to overwrite the existing tables and such. Not all the databases that I said, not all the database objects are deleted, as I said earlier. So the best way to solve this is, let's actually close our catalog manager, is to go to our drop SQL catalog drop and catalog create. We're going to run those to clean out. Mainly I was more concerned here with having the resource back, because we know that it's going to delete the databases, so there's really nothing there. So we're going to run the catalog drop first, and then we'll run the create catalog onto our C# production database. So I'll collect to my local database engine, and let's connect to our C# production. Execute this. Okay, so succeeded successfully, and there's just a few minor errors. And now we're going to run our catalog create, making sure that they have the same database selected. Let's execute this. Okay, and we got the same errors as we did in our previous test. So let's close this, and let's close this. Let's quickly look at our SQL Server, connecting to our local database engine. Okay, so we pretty much have now all of our views. When the bug that I was mentioning is that when you add this resource, this one view is not created, so therefore Catalog Manager has a issue connecting because that's not there. Another thing is that if you had created, so we created a test database, you also want to check to make sure that the all of the full text catalogs are also deleted. If they're not, you can come back here and clean it manually. Okay, so let's close our SQL. So now that we have a clean database, we can open up our Catalog Manager without any issues in connecting to our resource. Okay, and there we go. So now we are connected. Let's just make sure that we're connected to the same, and we are, and our database is gone, and we don't have any issues. So and how do you export the resources? In previous versions of Commerce Server, you could right click and export the resource, but you can do this now using the APIs. So actually, let's open up our Visual Studio, and let's open up our catalog system bench. Okay, let's go to our form, and let's create a button. So the first button will export the resource, and the second one will import it. Okay. We need to add a reference to the Commerce Server site configuration object. And here it is. Commerce Server site configuration. So now that we have the site config, we need to add a reference to it. Okay. So let's go back to our button. So I need to initialize it with a site name, and we said that our site name was up here, and that's text box 1. Okay, and export resource. So we need the resource name, product catalog, where the file should go. We'll keep it at temp. Okay, so we're going to need the same thing for our import process, except this is going to have import resource, and it's just going to have the file name. Let's go ahead and execute this. So I need to escape all of these. We also need to reference the enterprise services because it's in Com Plus. So system.enterprise services. That's all we need to do. Let's go ahead and execute this. So let's click our so here we need to make sure that this is production. Click export. Okay, it's completed. Let's now go to our temp directory. have our catalog resource that was exported. And that's pretty much it for the import-export. We're not gonna import it, we'll keep it as is. So this concludes our demo.